Welcome to BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is our countdown to two-a-days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we're going to be answering about that team on our Saturday, August 14th preseason preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom, and tonight, Dan, we are talking about the Big Spring Steers.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this team. I think Big Spring's got an opportunity to do some nice things this year. They went 5-4 last year, getting on the right side of that 500 mark for the first time in a little while. And they got a lot of kids back from that team. 28 total lettermen, including 9 offensive and 8 defensive starters. And included on that offensive side are some really good skill players. They got Gabriel Baeza back at quarterback, who's now in his third year as a starting quarterback. And then some good receivers to throw to as well. Pablito de Hoyos, Kagan Mitchell, Maverick Yanez are all guys that they did some nice things for them at the wideout position, and they're all back. So I would expect Big Spring to have a strong passing game, a strong offense in general. Baeza is a really good runner as well. You got a dual threat quarterback there. If they just continue to make strides defensively and just continue to push forward, I expect them to have another solid season.
And it looks like they're going to be strong at the linebacker position. They should be better defensively this year. And they've got a number of quality linebackers, Braxton Pearson being one of them, Isaiah Holloway being another one. Pearson had 81 tackles last year. Holloway had 64. And that's always a plus. If you start playing defensively, start getting some defensive stops, you get offensive momentum to go with it. And that's just a huge plus. And we should see them take a step forward on that side of the football. At least on paper, it looks like they're going to.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the one big question mark maybe for this Big Spring team is maybe depth. I think they've got a really good senior class, and you're going to see those guys account for a lot of their production this year. And then they're probably their next best class ever. That is probably that sophomore group. So there's not necessarily a gap in the junior class, but this junior class probably isn't quite as strong as those other two. So depth behind the starters may be a little bit of an issue. They're going to probably need to stay healthy to have the type of season they want to have. But if you just look at that first team, that group on both offense and defense, there's talent there. This is one of the better teams that Big Spring's put on the field for a while, and I think it's gonna be fun to watch and this team develop. I think there's a lot of potential there.
All right, let's take a quick look at the Big Spring schedule. I like this non-district portion, Dan. It gives Big Spring the opportunity to lose or win. Most of these games, I think, are going to line up to be competitive and fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really good non-district schedule, and it's one that, like you said, they can have a little bit of success through. They did pretty well in that non-district schedule last year, losing a couple of those games to COVID. They didn't get to play Littlefield or Pampa at the end of non-district, so that put a little gap in their schedule. But they had some success around that, and I think that this will afford them that opportunity as well. They open at Vernon, which should be a fun game. They'll play Lubbock High, then go to Monahans, and then have 3 straight home games against Brownfield, Clint, and Littlefield before wrapping up non-district at Pampa. But with the 4-team district, you're going to play a lot of non-district games and have lots of opportunities to get prepared for district. You're guaranteed a playoff spot, but you do. I mean, seeding is important, and you do want to go into the postseason with some confidence. So this will give them an opportunity to go into district with confidence, and if they can play well there, anything can happen.
Yeah, well, Big Spring wants to take a step forward in their district and compete for a high playoff seed, maybe a district championship. So it makes these pre-district games important. And I think that it's going to be important for them to taste success and get some momentum before they jump in there. And they start right off with a road game at Andrews. Yeah. You don't want to go to Andrews not feeling good about yourself. It's going to be important for them to taste success during non-district. Normally non-district games don't mean a ton, but I think for Big Spring this year, they will. And I bet you Cannon McWilliams would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think those are going to be important games. And I think that they made some significant strides last year. This is not – there's only 4 teams in there, but it's not an easy district because Andrews and Fort Stockton are generally very competitive. And last year they got beaten both those games by 3 scores, but both of them were competitive into the second half, or they had opportunities anyway to get into those games, losing to Andrews 56-35 and to Fort Stockton 28-7. But this team, I think, was significantly more competitive this past season than they had been prior. And now that with as much talent as they have coming back, I think they should be confident coming into the season. They've got a lot of kids with a lot of experience. And I think that last year did give them some experience. If you'll remember, they won that bi-district game against El Paso Riverside, which was a huge deal for them. That was a really exciting game where they had to really make plays late to win. And I think those are the types of steps that Coach McWilliams is trying to make with this program. And if he can make another one this year, it could mean a challenging at the top of that district and maybe making a little bit of a playoff run. So, like I said before, I'm excited about the season for Big Spring, and I'm just eager to see what they can do.
Game of the year for Big Spring, I think it sticks out like a sore thumb.
I think to me it's the Fort Stockton game. I think Andrews is still to me the favorite for that in that district. If you can beat Fort Stockton and get the number 2 seed, I think it's going to make your path in the playoffs considerably easier because you'll go in there as a number 2 seed as opposed to number 3 seed. And then like I said, you see where it goes from there. But that's the one to me that sticks out.
Absolutely, that Fort Stockton game at home is going to be really important for them. They got to hold serve at home, beat Fort Stockton. I think they'll be favored to beat Lakeview on the road. And you have to accept Andrews as the league favorite, and that's going to be tough to beat them on the road. So that's going to make that Fort Stockton game very important.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, one thing that should give them confidence, they put up 35 points on Andrews last year. They struggled to stop the Andrews offense, but they put up 35 points, which should show that you can go out there and maybe do some things. So we'll see. I mean, a lot's going to happen between now and then. They're going to have to stay healthy, but if they can build some confidence through that non-district portion of the schedule, rack up some wins, get some good experience, they could be in for a fun district season and then maybe a playoff run.
All right, that's just about going to wrap it up for tonight's episode of the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, the Big Spring Steers. But we want to remind you that on Saturday, August the 14th, Big Country Preps will be releasing its preseason football preview. We're going to be answering all the key questions about the Big Spring Steers and every other team in the area. No media source is going to be more thorough or more accurate on Big Country football than we are. Nobody's going to beat us.
In the meantime, thank you for checking out this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Days series. And make sure you join us again tomorrow, and we will feature the Brownwood Lions here at BigCountryPreps.com.